At the same time, we've got government whistleblowers coming out in Congress saying, oh, yeah, we have alien bodies, we have alien technology. All right. Now, if that is true, that means there is life out there. There's life here. So if aliens are here, there's aliens everywhere. All right, just by the sheer fact that we've discovered, like, we used to think the Earth was rare and like as a planet in the Goldilocks zone that can support life. But now that we can detect planets, we've found out that they're actually mega abundant throughout the universe, meaning there's a lot of surface area out there for life to exist. So just statistically, I mean, the chances are very, very high that there's a lot of life out there, you know?
Again, potential. And also, if there is life out there, how you making another assumption that these planets are billions of miles away, and that these beings, let's call them, have got the ability to actually travel billions of miles.
No, hold up. I'm gonna give you guys some feedback on what Real Angel Espero said on Roger on Skype. His insight is this is all bullshit. I don't believe shit that NASA says. Here is
this is not NASA that we're talking about. We're talking about, you know, eminent scientists in the field. We're not. This is before NASA, even in the 1960s. Carl Sagan, Richard Dawkins. You know,
I'm talking about the Webb telescope detecting possible.
Okay.
Now he goes on to say, here's when you know NASA is full of shit. They keep looking into other galaxies and tell us they found this shit. But forget other galaxies. How about focusing on some solar system in our galaxy? If you can tell me there's life on a planet in a galaxy light years from our galaxy, why can't you fucking tell? Why can't you point these telescopes and show us what's going on in our solar system or the ones in our galaxies? Yeah. And when saying goes, as the saying goes, what a tangled web we weave when we first conspire to deceive. NASA equals never a straight answer.
Fair enough.
Okay. I haven't actually looked into this, but also, I suspect NASA isn't the only ones that have said this. I'm sure if this is true, there must be other space agencies out there or other, satellite detection agencies.
Something you are forgetting, Mr. Robot. The telescopes are not just looking into a distance; they're looking back in time.
Yeah. Depends how far away, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So by the time we get there, there's going to be hot chicks in bikinis. See? So it doesn't matter if it's lava. It doesn't matter if it's lava or water, because at this time, as we're speaking, we're looking at that planet and it could have lava on it. But by the time we get there, there's going to be water everywhere. There's going to be hot chicks.
This planet is only 124 light years away. That means we're only looking 124 years back in time. That's not that long ago. Yeah, a lot can happen in 124 years, but in terms of life existing, it's probably still there if it was there, you know?
Yeah.
If we're talking about thousands of light years, that's a different thing, maybe, or hundreds of thousands. But,
you're right, because the 7,000 could be 7,000 miles, I was thinking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, I do want to point out, too, that freaking where I got my information came from. The people saying that stuff came from Cambridge, so don't take all that literally. You know how people in Cambridge are. They just... You know what I mean? If it was like a cool university or a college like Oxford.
Cambridge has got its own university?
Well, of course it does. I'm just saying don't take it at face value, because it is Cambridge. Now, if it was Oxford or Harvard or something, You know what I mean? That would be Notre Dame back in the day before they freaking actually had universities and they had to teach kids there. That's education, buddy.
I think Cambridge is the second most popular or most well-known or most according to league tables, the second best university in the UK.
Oh, is it?
I think so.
Okay, so
Followed by Exeter.
I think I better be careful because now, if you did a fact check on me, I would probably not really be accurate about the statements I just made. So, just now, I know don't. Now, I do want to talk about my favorite planet too. This is like extra juicy stuff. This is the cool one. This is the one that our grandkids and great grandkids, whichever ones make it there, is going to freaking have a ball with. Okay, and I've mentioned it a couple of times, but I'm going to mention it again because this is cool shit. And if I could go there, I would have a blast. Okay, and it's WASP 193b, otherwise known as Cotton Candy Planet, dude.
Can you say it again? WASB.
WASP WASP 193 B.
This sounds like some Rick and Morty shit.
Dude, this is the coolest freaking planet that has ever been discovered by anybody. Okay, if you could ever imagine a planet that you would want to exist, this would be it. Okay, now it's referred to as Cotton Candy Planet because it is exceptionally large and about 50% bigger than Jupiter. Okay, but it's also very light with a density comparable to that of cotton candy, dude. It is located 1,200 light years from Earth, too. So
we got an image of it. Yeah.
what do you think about that, man? Now, I was telling people that what I'm going to do if I had the chance to go there, I would freaking like get just like a whole outfit made of Velcro. And I would just start bouncing off shit, dude, like a freaking trampoline. And the Velcro would make me stick to stuff. And then whenever I stick, all I'd have to do is push away, fall back, bounce again, and then stick to something else, dude. I'd be like a freaking superhero, man.
There could be a problem there.
Well, it's a long distance away. It's 1,232 light years away. We'd all be dead by the time you get there.
And there's another problem there. Even if it is full of candy floss, as we call it in the UK, who's to say that it's breathable?
Well, he'd have a suit on, Mark, of course.
The
real problem is the surface temperature is 981 degrees Celsius or 1,798 degrees Fahrenheit.
Surely if it's made out of candy floss sugar, it will all be liquid.
Well, the planet
would be liquid by the time he gets there.
They said that the planet is so light that it has been described as super fluffy.
Get this, 1 year on that planet is only 6.2 days. Can you imagine that?
Oh my God. So that means you would age faster too.
Yeah.
Well, you'll be older. I don't know if you age faster.
Well, eventually as time goes by, your biology would adjust to the planet.
Yeah.
Wow. It's 1,000 degrees Celsius, mate. I don't know. I thought here was hot, but
you're not going to be. Well, maybe if we get to the point where like we could actually live at least above Venus in the atmosphere, and like floating islands, handle that temperature. Maybe we could come up with metals to where we could make it there, and then stuff like that. But I don't see that happening very soon.
I've got bad news.
Huh?
It's on NASA's website, so can't really trust it's even there.
Yeah, that's true. Now it's primarily composed of hydrogen and helium, dude. Now, you have to understand that is like a theme park just waiting to happen. Okay.
Well,
Helium.
I would give it a try if I could survive the heat.
Okay, so you guys don't think that going to this planet on vacation is a good idea?
Until we can develop suits that can hack that kind of temperature, I think I'll probably pass. Although,
Yeah.
if we could somehow create that here, that would be dope.
That is actually pretty cool. I like those graphics.
Cotton candy world. It's like somewhere when Rick and Morty would go on a holiday.
Yeah, it would. I think that was probably the best way. That was the best topic to open with the freaking topics on, because that's just cool when you talk about these planets. And and after I learned about the cotton candy planet, I was like, I have to add that in. That's without saying. So that was the thing that I did want to bring up.
Well, you know my stance on the whole extraterrestrial life thing. I'm way past that. Like, I already know life exists out there. I don't need proof. But if we get it, that'd be nice for everyone else's sake. But I think what's more interesting is what are they doing and why are they here, in my opinion.
Well, another thing too, while you guys were talking,
I like
it made me think about something, because like I know you guys aren't real big on television and movies and stuff, but you know how I feel about that. I'm all right with it. I have no problems with it whatsoever. Okay, but it reminds me of Halo, the storyline behind Halo, and when Mr. Robot was talking about scientists going around creating life with DNA, it doesn't necessarily mean that had to have been a human or a being that did it. It could have been a drone that just came and literally freaking seeded the entire freaking region with DNA. It
Could be easy to do.
Yeah.
But where did that drone come from?
It came from freaking the world where these ancient beings would have originally been from. They could have still been there, or they could have
China of space,
Prometheus really hits home on that one. If you ever watch the Predator Alien series, Prometheus freaking really hits home on that, because that's one thing Ridley Scott was really, really keen on. He really picked up on that storyline, and that's why he came out with Prometheus, because they skipped the whole thing. Because in the first episode of Aliens, they showed him going down to the planet, and that guy got that freaking alien stuck to his face, but nobody really paid attention to that big alien sitting up in that freaking that gunnery on the top part. He was a big freaking albino freaking alien.
This is the one where he's like a big white alien, right?
Right. And
Yeah.
Ridley Scott, when he started getting into it, he wanted to focus in on that and kind of bring everybody back to that part of the story. Because
the funny part of that story to me was that the humans approached it thinking, it'll be grateful if we wake it up and like it'll be friendly to us.